for inviting me to talk to the South Central Region LUTs once again. Today's topic has to do with ethics, and so I'm happy to share what I know and how to learn more for those who are interested. So first and foremost, let me take you to the Unity Worldwide Ministries website. Oh, Linda, you'll have to make me host.
Oh, I have to make you co-host.
Thank you.
Well, if you'd quit jumping all over this screen, I would. Okay, I just made Joanne Burns. Yada, yada, yes.
All right, and here comes a guest. All right.
Oh, yes, I see. You have to let her in, right?
I did.
Okay, good.
All right, so once you're on the home page, I'm gonna minimize all of ourselves. And you go to member resources and support. If you go to the right column under ministry and spiritual community support here, the second one in this column is accountability and ethics. So if you click that, it'll take you to this page, which has a number of wonderful resources. In this big paragraph, anything that is purple and bold is a live link. And so we have now officially the Code of Ethics for Leaders and the Code of Ethics for Ministries. That document used to be combined for leaders and ministries, but there was confusion, and so we took the time and effort to identify what that confusion was, and the standards team and the Board of Trustees reviewed and approved this new policy. So everyone will want to familiarize themselves with the Code of Ethics for Leaders. It applies to licensed Unity teachers, licensed ministers, ordained ministers, and anyone in a spiritual leadership position who is in the special dispensation program. Also, the Code of Ethics for Unity Ministries applies to the ministry, all of the leaders within the ministry, such as the Board of Trustees and those acting as team leaders and department head leaders, that kind of thing. So that will be beneficial for ministries to know about as well. So the other thing on this particular website page is a little bit about the ethics review system. It talks about what is the ethics review system. It talks about what happens when a concern is noted, and the process and additional information is listed in this box. This next tab talks about the procedures of what exactly happens during a ethics review. It also has a tab on the sexual conduct expectations and one for ethics resources, which most of them are also listed on the policy page. And then down here is yet another tab regarding the social media policy. And I see, oh, here's the link. Usually it's inside the colored box. So there is that. So anyone has access to this information under the Member Resources and Support, Accountability and Ethics tab. The other place to find policies and such related to this topic would be on the unityuwm.org policies page. So if you're concerned or questioning any policies that could affect things that are going on in the ministry or with leaders, then you can check out some of these policies here. Each one of these plus signs is a drop-down menu, and as you can see, there are a number of policies listed on just this first tab. So if you go to each and every one of these tabs, there's policies, there's procedures. Here's a tab specific to ethics. There is a tab called best practices, which takes you to additional resources. And then there are recommended policies for ministries and other resources. So these are the places that we send people frequently when they're asking questions about policy manuals, presenters, disruptive behavior policy guidelines, sacred safety, sex offenders in your ministry, resources for active shooters, miscellaneous safety. There's a whole host of resources available on the website. So that's a little bit about that. Specifically to the policies themselves, the code of ethics for leaders. I'm going to show you that document. So, whoops, I'm sorry, it started in the middle. Okay. So this is the code of ethics for leaders policy. And as I said, it applies to all credentialed leaders, licensed or ordained Unity ministers, licensed teachers, non-credentialed leaders serving in the capacity of a credentialed leader, all ministerial candidates, all LUT candidates, all certified leaders and candidates, all members of the UWM Board of Trustees, all UWM staff members and contract employees, all individuals certified to serve as consultants to our ministries, and all members of UWM ministry teams, Unity Worldwide Ministries organization, and their representatives. So this policy was reviewed and updated just this year. So it is important to read through this document, and we will be getting signatures on these documents from everyone as time goes by. So it didn't really change too much from the previous code of ethics that many of us have signed when we became a credentialed leader of some sort. It does have live links back to other areas that policies would be of information for you. It also teaches you where to find information on mandated reporters. This website here takes you to a website, an additional website that has mandated reporters by state. So then you would type in what state you're in, and then you would find the laws local to your state when you're in the United States. And we also have a link for Canada. It also takes you to the sexual conduct policy, and there are various topics. Now, the key topics have not changed, but the language and the clarity of how to uphold yourself within alignment to these documents, I think has been clarified and made it simpler and easier for people to understand. It also talks a little bit about the competency and ethics support system policy, which will replace the ethics review policy, ethics review team policy, something like that. ERS, ethics review system. I'm so sorry. Yes, ERS, ethics review system. So that is 95% complete, and it will go before the board, hopefully before the end of the calendar year 2024. So whenever we do a policy review of any of these long documents that are like this one is 7 pages long, it takes about a year to review, and it's done by a team, and it has been presented back to a larger team, and then edits are made and it goes before the board of trustees. So that is a lengthy process on that. So it is important that all of our credentialed leaders familiarize themselves with that. It was published in the e-newsletters, the UWM e-newsletters, that these documents have been updated and revised. The other one here that I have on the screen is the Code of Ethics for Unity Ministries. So this one is specific to the ministry, specific to the Board of Trustees and the people acting in leadership within the ministry organization. So this might be new for board members because that was part of the confusion of the one combined document in the past. The title misrepresented that it was only credentialed leaders that it applied to and not lay leaders, but it definitely applies to lay leaders as well, which is what a board member would fall under. So we will be educating individuals on boards, church boards, that this does indeed apply to them, as does the sexual conduct policy and the social media policy. So we now have a single page document that you sign to acknowledge that you have read and understand all three of these documents. And like I said, we will be getting those out into the field and working toward supporting individuals to be up to date on their signature docs. We recommend that you are revising and updating your signature docs every 3 years. The typical time that we catch someone going through to update their documents is when they are changing churches for employment, or they are volunteering to serve on their regional board or the national board or the UWH board or one of the ministry teams. So that's usually when we in member support are asked to vet candidates, and so we happily do so to support that everyone is what we call in good standing. The in good standing definition is found in the UWM membership model policy. So in the past, we've used multiple definitions for in good standing, and we're trying to streamline it and use only one. And if it's a different policy and it's not in alignment with the one true definition as outlined in the UWM membership model policy, we're encouraging them to call it something else. But that's a work in progress, and it might take us a few years to get through all of our policies and update all of the data. So that's a little bit about where to find the information regarding ethics and how it has been updated in this past year and why. Also, if there is a question or comment about those, you can email membersupport@unity.org. That comes to my department, and I would be happy to assist you to get an answer in whatever your question is. On the website regarding the ethics page, ethics and accountability page, there is an email. If there is a complaint of a potential violation of the Code of Ethics, then that would go to the email address is ers@unity.org. So that goes to an individual who follows up and indeed has a conversation to see if it should be going under review and sending it to the ERS team, or if there is just a misunderstanding that can be resolved without it being made a complaint. So for more information on how that works, then you would want to read the CESS policy, which is not yet done, but the ERS policy is on the website, and that is still officially in effect until it's replaced by the CESS policy. So the change predominantly, it now will incorporate competency issues. So competency issues, if not resolved, what we've learned over history is that competency issues sometimes become ethics issues if not identified, redirected, and some guidance given. So we're hoping that by addressing the competency issues more effectively, we will not have as many ethics issues, and our leaders learn before it becomes a larger, more troublesome issue. So we'll see. All right. So are there any questions so far about that I can answer for either of you that may be of interest to someone watching this recording later?
I don't have any. What about you, Arlise? You're muted, sweetheart.
For me, it's just a matter of knowing the wheres to find the items.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a maze of connected sites that this is helpful, knowing specifically where to go to
Yes.
find this information. And this information, you know, I guess to people who work there, you know, you go here and there often and you get to familiar with where the different issues are dealt with. Not so for many people who, you know, might just teach a class once in a while, or, you know, in my case, I'll do a little this, and the other around the church. But this is helpful to me just to know the name of the where I'm going to go to look.
Yes, yes, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
agree. This has been very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Well,
I got them all written down.
well, and honestly, when the new website came out, I and my team, you know, I said, we need to know this website so that we can direct people where to go. And the same with the consultants, because it's loaded with resources if you know where to find it.
Right.
And so when you go to some of those drop-down menus, especially the one titled Member Services and Support, you can't even fit it on the same screen. You have to scroll. It's just so large.
Yeah.
And yeah, so either it was many clicks or a long table of contents and drop down menu. So I'm just grateful that we have so many free resources to share with our ministries and our leaders and that. And I would rather get an email saying help. Please point me in the right direction. Than have people not use them. So yeah.
I attended Cynthia Vermillion Foster's accountability workshop a few weeks ago, and that was so helpful. It was so helpful. It was really, really good. And that's all a part of the ethics, is the accountability.
Absolutely.
And it is troublesome to me when our leaders sometimes don't take accountability into consideration.
Well, I understand it completely what you're referring to, Linda, and it can be an opportunity to recognize that their humanness is coming through.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, it's just people being people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we expect more from our leaders. and we should. I mean, every one of us is a credentialed leader here on this call, and we have worked hard and said yes to Spirit and yes to UWM and yes to our facilitators as they mentored and guided us through this process to be where we are now. And so there is that expectation that if you're another credentialed leader, you're going to maintain a certain level of accountability to the agreements that we know you've signed.
Yes, because we all signed them.
We all signed them. Yes, absolutely.
And there will be those the new ones will be coming to us to sign and get back to you via the internet, right?
Well, actually, you can go onto the website through the pathway that I just explained to you. They were sent out in a recent, probably June, July, e-newsletter that took you to the link to the ethics and accountability page. We're not actively having you all sign. We have not figured out an easy way to do that. We're talking about attaching that to the credentialed leader report in some way.
That'd be good.
Yes. Because there's a lot of you.
Yes.
And we need to make sure that it is a streamlined process, it is an effective process, and it does not return to the additional staff hours of dealing with paper. So because we're predominantly an all electronic organization now, you receive a link in an email for your credentialed leader report and the annual ministry report if you're a minister leading a church. And you have access to certain things on your page in the database that you update. And so we rely on you to update that to the best of your ability and offer support when you can't figure something out. So if we can attach it to that process so that you can sign those documents and use the computer to help us do that, that would be ideal. Because in our credentialed leader report for last year, the 2023 activities, there was only one credentialed leader report that had to be entered by hand. And that was for a colleague who is 90 years old. So that individual just couldn't make it work, which is much better than the over 100 that we had to do the year prior. So we're making progress in using our tools to be as effective as possible to serve the field. So
that's terrific.
one step forward. Yeah.
Shoot, I would do a 90-year-old all day, every day, if that's what was required.
Yes.
If that person is still willing to put themselves out there and do what they've been called to do, God bless them. I'll do the paperwork.
Exactly. That's what we felt as well. And, happy to help them along because they are still active.
That's
so,
remarkable.
A life of prayer.
That's right. That's right.
Have that going for us. So
Talked about it this morning.
good. All right. Well, for those individuals who are watching this as a video, if you have questions, please reach out to member support at unity.org. And myself or someone from my department, member support, will get back to you to answer your question or to get more clarity and point you in the right direction. So, any other things I should speak about?
Do you have anything, Arlise?
I won't know until tomorrow.
I love that. I love
Well,
that because I won't
it's-
either. It will come to me in the middle of the night. Oh,
well, I don't know, but I think both of you all know that I got behind on my credits last year. And so I did both the ethics and diversity last year, but not classes. Well, that's what we needed last year, but not classes. So this year, in an attempt to catch up, I have had the ethics and I need diversity. And I thought I found one, but I'm not sure if now that I see more information about it, I'm not sure if the diversity one is actually going to be what it was originally set up to be. What is her name? Jackie, Reverend Jackie
Hernandez.
does twice a month, and one is usually kind of a discussion from what I understood, and
Right.
then one as
It's
just a little bit more free form. But the first one, this time it's going to be on Thursday, the World Day of Prayer. So what's been filled in there now is prayer and meditation. So I'm not sure if that will count as diversity. And I don't know if I talk to her or who I have to talk to before I'll know if that will actually count for it. And I have already been in touch with April, May,
Mhm.
out of
Eastern
the
region?
east, yeah, out of the Eastern region. And I found 2 segments in their conference material that will work for 2 classes for this year. So I'm still, working to catch up. And it just takes time because everybody's busy. And so you have to wait until they are not busy. And the more I wait and look at things, because I'm not that girl who's going to just take this because it's an hour and I get CEUs. My hours are important.
Mhm.
And so if I'm taking it because it's something that I need to learn or that I know somebody else that I could teach that to. So I want to do it before this year is up so that I can go into the next year even bored. I don't like being behind because I do still have kind of a life,
Of course you do. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I applaud you for being so diligent and catching
Yes.
up. And this year, in order to the education UWSI department is focusing on if the facilitator did not complete their CEUs, they are not eligible to teach for credit. And so
Right.
it's been out there in the field for long enough and it's been in the membership model policy and that's been out there for over a year. So they're finally starting to implement. So
Yeah.
they've had their grace year. And there have been many of you who have caught up because this department helps make sure that your past information gets plugged in where it needs to go. And 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 my prayer is that, no one is caught off guard with this.
Mhm, mhm.
It'll happen to
Me
somebody,
too.
I'm sure, and it'll be very upsetting. And this is nothing new. We've been doing this since,
Mhm.
I don't know, forever, as far as I remember being in LUT. It's like it was drilled into your head. Thank you, Dorothy Ginsky. You do
Yes.
your
Yes.
annual
Yes.
CEUs, you
You
get
and
your
I took classes together, didn't we?
probably, yeah.
Once upon a time, I think we did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's my intention is to catch up this year. And, sometimes I'll just, look across some of the bigger churches give classes for credit and they may be 3 or 5 sessions for an hour or, something I can put together that will work for my schedule. And so that's been the main thing. wanting it to be something that I will enjoy taking and that I need to have, and that will fit into where my life is right now.
Mhm.
So I'll know a little more tomorrow. There's been a little back and forth communication, and tomorrow I should know if I have those 2 classes. That would be great. Seems like one was 1.5 and one was 2 or something like that. So anyway, it's happening. It's beginning to
Excellent.
happen. I just
Good.
really got to work on the diversity one, because it's not a topic that's really popping up frequently.
I've noticed that as well, honestly, and I started to wonder, this is just my mind doing the question thing. So, and I'm making it up as I go along. So the fact that I'm going to speak this on a recorded video, due to the culture of the United States and a backslide of popularity and implementation of DEI, DEIJ, has that impacted even us as an organization? I don't know. I haven't done the stats. I don't know how many were taught in 2023 and 2022 and 2021, 22, but, and maybe it's just my schedule, because, I'm trying to do the same thing you are, Carly, and make sure I get my credits. How are we to make sure that, they're at least offered enough times where people can attend the classes when they're available? Because we know not to do anything while Easter and Christmas are going on. And
Right.
and it seems like the month of August is a very popular month for vacation. So that's not a good time either. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep my eyes open, and if you all happen to hear of somebody who's making an offering, even through their church or, it doesn't matter to me where, because I'm going to be online as opposed to present in
Arlene,
person.
just because this particular session of Jackie's DEIJ B plus whatever it's called, I can't remember all of the letters.
Lots of letters.
Lots of letters, but just because this one is titled prayer and what?
Meditation.
Of course, prayer and meditation. This is my first day. Forgive me.
No, you've had a long day, Miss. I've led Sunday service.
Yes, it has been, but it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
But just because that's the title for this month, what
Right.
is October? I haven't looked in the last day or two.
Well, I don't have it right here with me.
But it will count too.
Okay. Well, and I'll just keep looking on there, because from
Yes.
what I read in the little paragraph, they're doing this on a regular basis. It's not just
Yes.
no, which,
every month,
and some of them just say to be arranged, or
Right.
something like that. So I don't
Well,
know, but they may be
she-
good after.
She just started that call
Oh,
in the early spring, late spring, not early spring, late spring.
this year.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's brand new.
Okay.
And she was gone on vacation the month of August. And she got all of her topics up through July. And that's why it says to be determined or to be announced the rest of the year. But trust me, she will get it done.
Okay.
I know her well enough to know that. And it will be on topic. But because September is World Day of Prayer, it falls on World Day of Prayer. That's when she's doing prayer and meditation.
Yeah.
And I may just join her.
Oh, I will. I signed up for it before I knew what the topic was going to be, just because it was the right time. It would fit in there. So, yeah, it's
It
all
could
good.
be world religion wise and show the diversity of prayer and meditation. You
It really
don't
could.
know.
There's a lot. There's a lot that they could put in there. So, yeah,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I am.
So let me just share screen again, since we're sort of on this topic.
Mhm.
If you all go to education, this drop down menu over here, under on the far left, continuing education programs, there's a couple places. First, the second one is the continuing education CEU requirements for anyone who needs information on that. And then down here is also tutorials, pre-recorded trainings, self-directed learning has some things that would be available to you. And then this is the webinars and trainings that continually change. So this page here lists all of the ones that are
wow.
currently happening. So here's one, and it says what type of credit they're good for. So this is 2 general credits on the Enneagram class, spiritual direction, 2 general credits. Here's the soul of ministry for ethics boundaries credit. And here's another one, part 2 of the DEIJ by Jesse Harriet for
Now, I saw that.
simplicity. I
I
took
saw the
part 1
part.
from it. It was very fascinating.
Well, do you know if she recorded that, or is that available somehow?
Yes, I believe it is.
'Cause
Jesse Harriet is a he, and he is in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well, I will check him out because I was very interested. When I saw the part 2, I said, oh goodness, I wonder if part 1 is still available, because I don't want to start in the middle. I want to get the whole story. And that's how it's helpful to me.
Yeah,
Well, I
I'm
think
not
it's helpful
sure
for everybody to start
where,
with part 1.
I'm
Sure.
not sure where those would be.
That was one of the early churches. I'm not sure if they've started a new one or not, but that was one of my early church homes in Birmingham.
Oh,
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. But I will talk with him and find out. I appreciate you
yes.
pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
And pre-recorded information. Now that's even more exciting.
And some of those are helpful for boards and leaders and, you know, the congregation as a whole. It just depends. There's resources there.
There are.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because today at Unity Center of Tulsa, we had our congregational meeting and our little food time. And that was one of the things that we talked about, is needing more volunteers. Our center is finally beginning to grow, and it's so exciting. But you know, the more people you have, the more people you need to, you know, to help with the work. You know, we have already had the structure of committees and leadership and what, you know, to do the various things. But after what, 2, 3 ministerial changes, our congregation membership went down so low that we didn't have people to fill all of those. And we really didn't have the need for it, because we didn't have people filling all the seats. But that's shifting. And that was one of the things that we talked about today. So I'll be looking through that pre-recorded information, maybe helping some of those people to realize that there is training materials available, which will, of course, lead them right into the path of taking classes and doing more in the church, and for their own spiritual growth as well.
Right, so since you spoke to that, I'm gonna show you where some things are.
Uh-oh.
Yep, because you know how I am, Marlies. So back to this amazing member resources and support website under ministry and spiritual community support. There is information here called Ministry and Leadership Board resources right here. There are free resource downloads which have manuals. One of them is the volunteer sample guidebook. And there are spiritual resources here, as well as spirit groups, the small group ministry process. So this is filled to overflowing with resources for you all. So you'll want to check out and tell Reverend Jeff about these free resources.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I gave Kathy the ministry leadership guidebooks when I was there.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, she probably has those. I was their interim minister.
I know.
So, you know, it's
I've
like,
heard some glowing things about you from them.
well, thank you. I'm sure there were some not so glowing things too, because you
Nothing
can't
I
have
heard.
church without ruffling a few feathers at the same time. It's a love, not so much loving thing. You
Well,
know,
that's what you call process.
that's exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But the more that we work on it, the more we learn. And even if we make missteps, it's progress because we learn, oh, that doesn't work. Or, oh, that doesn't work like that. You know, well, we learn all kind of things. So, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it. Just keep, I think to me, if you get stuck, that's when you're in trouble. If you won't go any further because, oh, that was uncomfortable, well, then your ship sinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when you have to take it back to the basics, go to prayer, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
Stop.
Always.
Always. When it's
Always.
going
Always.
good or bad. It's just
Yes.
Mhm.
Life is filled with an unending supply of teachable moments.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Oh,
I
goodness.
welcome them. I welcome them. And thank you so much for sharing those. That's a good for Rick.
What is our topic for next month?
I have that in here. Let's see.
I have it somewhere too, but my somewhere is not available right now.
Mhm.
The topic for next month is conflict resolution with the ministry.
Oh my.
Oh, boy.
Also with me.
I know.
And then after that, you have Glenda, and after that, you have Diane. So you will have
Mhm.
a number of us supporting this licensed teacher
And
group. We're
gosh,
grateful
I
to do
just
so.
appreciate it so much. This has been invaluable. And I'm loving your kitty cat.
She
Got up there in that corner and I saw just how big the little cat is.
Yeah, and that was far away at the other side of the room.
I
You
know
have
that.
two cats.
No, it's the same cat. She's just she was a rescue about yay, and now she's, you know, like a foot and a half long, and you know, she just needed all of that nourishment, as we all do.
Mhm.
Cool.
So
All
yeah,
it took. A lot of love.
a lot of love, little prayer, and some quality kibble.
That helps too.
It
Yes.
does. All right.
All right.
Well, ladies, it has been a pleasure as always to visit with you. And if I or my team can be of support, please reach out. That's why we're called member support.
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad to know somebody's name up there, you know.
Boy, me too.
That's what people say. Do you know anybody by name? You know, yeah. Why? Just
Yeah, but
Well,
I'm not sharing it with
We're all
you.
on the website. Let me show you
Yeah.
that too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, since I'm doing website show and tell today.
Yes,
So,
you are, and it's very helpful.
It
Somebody
is.
who actually knows how to navigate the thing.
Uh-huh.
so we'll go back to the home page by clicking the logo and all the way down, whoops, down at the bottom is our team.
Oh,
So you can scroll
Look at that.
through and find any of us, and then you can click on our names and get our little bio. So, and we have a few new staff members
cool.
this month and people changing positions. So that will be updated in the next week or two.
Mm-hmm. Lovely,
I
lovely.
noticed still had Lynn Odell is credentialing,
Yes.
and that's changed, hasn't it?
No, it has not.
Oh, good. He's very good at that.
I
And
know.
I know how to find her.
See, that matters so much.
It does. I understand that. I was out in the field. It's just like, oh my God, what do you mean so and so is leaving? Who am I going to talk to?
Yeah.
Someone else also filled their place and were equally as skilled and
Yeah.
compassionate and passionate about the sustainability of this movement. So
And that's critical,
yeah,
critical,
definitely.
Mhm.
because that's what it's all about. That's what I would like to see changed. One of the things that I would like to see changed is that piece of it, the dedication to the movement, because we've got a story to tell.
We've got teachings that work if you work them.
That's exactly right. It's like 12 step. They work if you work them.
That's
You
right.
have to work them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a group of people in Kerrville that are excited about the Foundations of Unity class.
Wow.
And nobody wants to take it nobody really is interested in taking it for credit. So that gives me the latitude of teaching lessons in truth and discover the power and get it all done in 10 weeks. But I think that I can't do that and drive there every week to do that. It's 2 hours each way,
Oh, uh-huh.
and the days are getting shorter.
Yes. Well, that is the
Mhm.
beauty of Zoom. We can come in and join from anywhere.
That's right. And I've talked to some other people in other areas that are very interested in it. And, because that's just basic
Mhm.
information about who we are and why we believe what we believe.
Yeah. Well, good.
So are you considering teaching it over Zoom as well?
Yes, ma'am. That's the only way I can do that. Like I said, that's 4 hours on the road. And I don't have a problem driving at night, but with the contingency of the deer,
Oh,
there is that. And in the hill country, they're everywhere,
Mm.
everywhere. And it would break my heart if I had an accident with one of them.
yeah.
Because
Break your car too.
it would do that too.
They
It would do that too.
yeah, because they're big and strong.
They are.
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, let me know if you decide to do it by Zoom because we have some new people we're going to have a membership class, but we will not have a 10-week process for our membership class. And that may be something that would interest them because those are two good, really basic books.
Well, in my experience, it's really, really difficult to get to the meat of the subject in either of those two books or those two books together in 5 weeks.
Right.
I understand why they did it, and it's okay. But if I'm going to teach it for people who don't want it for credit, that's not the way I'm going to do it,
Right.
because there's too much in there that can be glossed over and lost in the shuffle.
Mhm.
And I think that's a mistake.
It's very true.
Just saying what I think.
I understand spiritual economics and prosperity were combined at one time. I don't know that they are still, but it made it challenging because there's just so much great information that you really have to absorb and process.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. That's another one. And the only way I've ever taught that is both of them together.
Oh.
Because I was always teaching for credit. And I did what I could with what I had to work with. But spiritual economics all by itself is golden as far as I'm
Yes.
concerned.
Yes. Well, that's why Eric Butterworth is one of our classic Unity authors. You know, it's just timeless and well explained.
Yes.
So
And that's why I have so much love for Mark Hicks and putting together that metaphysics. What did he call it? Practical metaphysics that he put together from various things from Butterworth. That is phenomenal. I taught it, I guess, last year. And it just made my heart happy. But of course,
what wonderful endorsement.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been wonderful, ladies. Thank you.
Well,
How's
thank
it going?
you
We're
for putting
good.
us together.
I just wish others had taken advantage of it. But you can lead a horse to water, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the beauty of having a recording as well. They can catch up.
That's right.
It is
if
in
they-
my climate a lovely day. It's not too hot. There's a nice breeze.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, it's not over 100, so that's lovely. And
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Nice
And
to get
we
out.
appreciate you more than you will ever know, Joan.
Absolutely.
It's just wonderful.
Just love it.
well, it's wonderful to hang out with my fellow LUT people.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I won't be at the regional convention, so give those who know me my love and respect, and I will catch up with them on another excursion. So you guys have a great time and enjoy.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Thank you.